The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the manfromleng. Thank you very much for joining me today. On this episode, we are concluding our Dream Eaters campaign, at least part A, with Where the Gods Dwell, the 5th Mythos pack in the Dream Eaters cycle, and the final chapter of the Dream side of the campaign. Hello, everyone. Glad you are tuning in. This is a blind playthrough. I have not tackled Where the Gods Dwell yet, and I am looking forward to bringing it to you today. I've heard this one's tough, but that is to be expected considering it is the final chapter of the Dreamside campaign, and I knew it wouldn't be easy, so let's see how we do. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the patrons of this channel for their tremendous support. The Arkham Horror LCG community is amazing, and these people have gone above and beyond to bring you content like these playthroughs. If you'd like to support the channel's goals and see your name on this list, head over to patreon.com, sign up for a tier of your choice, and claim your rewards. That would be awesome. Without further ado, let's take a look at the deck. This is Luke Robinson. As you may remember, we have been playing Luke through the Dream side, and he has done very well. This deck has, we ended up with 32 experience points, which I think is a personal record for a solo campaign. I don't think I've come anywhere close to 32 in the past. So this campaign has been extremely generous in terms of XP. We made a few changes. This deck, of course, is based on a deck built by Start With a Name over at Arkham DB. We purchased 2 copies of Counterspell and removed 1 copy of Quantum Flux and Eureka. We had, in the end, we had 9 experience points to spend, so that was our first change. We also purchased 1 copy of Robes of Endless Night Level 2 and removed 1 copy of David Renfield. The Robes and David do sort of the same thing. Both David generates you resources while the Robes make things cheaper. So, and I had, I think I ended up with 2 experience points that I needed to spend, and I did not want to spend them. So, that was a change that we made. And finally, we upgraded 1 Ward of Protection to Ward of Protection 5. I think this is the first time that I am playing Ward of Protection 5, so we will be able to cancel 1 treachery or enemy, so that will be quite powerful. Of course, the rest of the deck, we've got Hawkeye Folding Camera, 1 copy of Rite of Seeking 2, we've got 2 of Shriveling 3, 2 Sixth Sense 4, the Holy Rosary, Mr. Rook, 4 of Cups, got a couple of Astounding Revelations, we'll see if we can't get those online. The Drawn to the Flame, Knowledge is Power, Storm of Spirits, Uncage the Soul, and a regular Ward of Protection. And we have 2 copies of Arcane Research, which is primarily responsible for getting us to that 32 experience point threshold. And our weakness is the Mob Enforcer, which is kind of funny just because Luke and the rest of the Dreamers work so hard to find Unknown Kadath, but the Mob Enforcer, he seems to know how to get there. So we shall see if he appears in Kadath today. He did make a trip. He did appear on the moon, so perhaps the Mob Enforcer knows more hidden pathways through the Dreamlands. Here is a summary of the campaign so far. Luke experienced the Mystic Dream. The cats collected their tribute from the Zoogs. We declined to add Randolph Carter to our deck. I'm not too sure why I did that, but hey, that's where we're at. The Black Cat warned the others, of course, being Patrice Hathaway, who is doing the Waking side. Let me adjust my chair here. We've recorded during Dark Side of the Moon, we recorded 5 tally marks, during Unknown Kadath. The Search for Kadath, sorry. We recorded 5 tally marks next to Evidence of Kadath for a total of 6. Virgil was captured. Randolph eluded capture. We earned 8 XP during Dark Side of the Moon for a total of 9 available heading into Where the Gods Dwell. We recorded 3 more tally marks next to Evidence of Kadath for a total of 9. The Black Cat spoke of Atlak Nacha, and we ended up getting to add the Silver Key to our deck. Patrice found the Silver Key in 1,000 Shapes of Horror, and then the Black Cat, I guess, brought it to us. So that is where we stand. Let's head over to Octagon, where we should be set up and ready to go for this game. This is a blind playthrough. If you're a patron of the channel, stay tuned for the Patreon post-game show, where I talk a little bit about my impressions of the scenario and break down how the game went, for good or for ill. This one could be a very short game, given that it is the final scenario of the Dream side of the campaign, but we'll see. This deck has been performing extremely well, so hopefully it will make a good showing here. We are headed home. That's right, we are at the Plateau of Leng to kick things off. 3 Shroud location with 1 clue. Forced effect: when an enemy attempts to spawn at an empty location and there are no empty locations in play, spawn that enemy here instead. That's kind of ominous. Hopefully there won't be that many enemies that we have to spawn them all at the Plateau of Leng. But it is nice to finally reach the plateau after all of these games. We also have the Cold Wastes, the Monastery of Leng. The door to the Monastery of Leng is sealed shut. You cannot enter the monastery. We've got the Onyx Gates, which has no game text, and of course the Onyx Castle. The way to the Onyx Castle is hidden. You cannot enter the Onyx Castle. So that is the layout of the locations. Of course, there are... I don't really know a whole lot about this game, other than I know we will face Nyarlathotep at some point, and we will also scrap this map and add the Forsaken Towers to the game at some point. That's pretty much all I know about it. The Agenda 1A doesn't really give us much information. The Eye of Chaos, I see you there, playing fate like it is all some sort of game. Did you really think you could escape my grasp? What makes you think you're the one in control? And it has a doom threshold of 7, so fairly, we've got some time. Hopefully we won't use too much of that time up. And Act 1A is Journey Through the Cold Wastes. You have come to the land of Leng, a barren, icy wasteland where you believe the peak of unknown Kadath resides. All the while, a presence taunts you, gnawing at your insides. It is a wordless, derisive voice that you cannot hear but feel within the confines of your mind. We will need 2 clues. So that will be the clue from the Plateau of Leng, and I presume the clue from the Cold Wastes, since we cannot get into the Monastery of Leng or the Onyx Castle, so probably Cold Wastes and or Onyx Gates. We are playing Where the Gods Dwell on standard difficulty. The skulls are -X, where X is the number of the current act. So that will gradually increase as the game proceeds. The Cultist is reveal another token. If you fail, place 1 doom on the current agenda. That's bad news. The Tablet is a -4. If you fail, choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep in your hand. It attacks you and is shuffled into the encounter deck. I believe the copies of Nyarlathotep, if I say his name, I immediately lose the game. So I'm sure I'll do that at least once during this playthrough, because it's kind of hard to narrate a game when you can't talk about the cards that you are playing. And the Elder thing is a 0. The Black Cat reminds you that it's all a dream. I don't think we have any Elder things in the Chaos bag, because the cat is helping Patrice, who will be tackling the Weaver of the Cosmos here shortly. I think we're ready to go. We just need to draw our opening hand. So let's shuffle up that and see how we do. We're looking for, of course, things to boost our willpower. And 4 of Cups would be nice if we can get that. We do. Oh, wow, nice hand. We get a Mr. Rook, which is awfully good. We get a Hawkeye folding camera, which is also nice. That should help us with our... we need to clear locations to get to boost our willpower with that, but that's pretty good. We've got a Storm of Spirits, a Shriveling, and a Rite of Seeking. I think we will mulligan the Storm of Spirits. We'll keep the Shriveling, and that will give us 1 card. We end up with another Hawkeye folding camera. Now we can play with 2. I'm not sure we want to play with 2 right off the bat, but it is an option. So what is our intellect is 3 base, so investigating this location could be quite difficult without a Rite of Seeking or a 6th Sense. I think what we'd like to do is probably play Mr. Rook and then use Mr. Rook to try to find our 6th Sense, so we have a better chance anyway of grabbing these clues and making some progress. Rite of Seeking is not ideal though, because it does cost 4 resources, and we don't have an unexpected or uncage the soul handy. So as much as I would like to play the Hawkeye folding camera, it doesn't boost our willpower, our intellect right now. So I think what we'll do, we will let's get our 3 actions, and then we will let's play Mr. Rook first, since he is awesome. And that's going to cost us 3 resources. So we could play a folding camera if we wanted to, but we're going to use Mr. Rook to see if we can't get our 6th Sense. So let's go for, search top. If we draw 1 weakness, we will have to draw it, and we're not really prepared to deal with the mob enforcer. I wouldn't be too upset if we drew Detached from Reality. So I think we've got to go big here. I think we're going to go 9. It's a bit of a risk, but I think we have to do that because we want a 6th Sense so we can get this game kicked off here. So we see no weaknesses, which is good. We've got an Astounding Revelation, which we get to trigger. So we can either gain 2 resources or place 1 secret on an asset you control. We will gain 2 resources for sure, because that sets us up to play the 6th Sense, which we also drew. So we got a Ward of Protection basic, 4 of Cups, Uncage the Soul, the Silver Key, another copy of Mr. Rook, 6th Sense, our Ward 5, and Storm of Spirits. So we will take 6th Sense. That will be very handy. So search top, draw a card. So we did that. All right. And that was a free triggered ability, so we didn't use any... So the Astounding Revelation was awesome there. That gave us some resources, so now we can play 6th Sense. So let's do that as our second action. For 3. And very nice indeed. A great start here, I think, to this game. We end up with Mr. Rook and a 6th Sense right off the bat. 6th Sense, of course. This is 6th Sense 4, so we get to add our willpower. We get to use our willpower instead of our intellect. We get +2 willpower for this investigation. So we are willpower 6. And I think what we will do is we will use our final action to investigate the Plateau of Leng and see if we can't discover this clue. Our first chaos draw from the chaos bag, and we end up with a -3. So 6 - 3 is 3, and we grab this clue. So a very nice start to this game. For Luke, we have Mr. Rook down as well as a 6th Sense. So I am in favor of that so far. No enemies, of course, and we draw... Oh, I think we need to... I did not shuffle my deck, so let's do that. before, and then we will draw a card. We get an astounding revelation, unfortunately. So that is just an intellect skill icon at this point. So that's too bad. However, we've got our first clue, and we're heading into the first Mythos phase of the game. We add 1 Doom to the Eye of Chaos, and our first encounter card is going to be Dole of the Wastes. Oh, crap. Look at the size of that thing. 6 fight, 6 health, 2 evade. Spawns at the Cold Wastes or the Great Hull. Lowest prey is lowest agility, and it has Hunter, and it hits for 2 damage and 1 sanity, and it is it's going to be chasing us. Wow, we are in no. That is tough. That is I think a bad start to the game to draw that big boy. 6 fight, 6 health, 2 evade. Man, oh man. Maybe we can advance quick enough to get rid of him if we wipe all these locations. Jeez, 2 health too. Man, that's like Luke's weak spot for sure. Now we do have the gate box that can help us out. That can help us deal with that creature, but I really don't want to waste all my gate box charges dealing with the first creature of the game, considering we know there are other creatures that are going to be coming as well. All right, well, we're going to add 3 actions, and we'll kick off turn 2. All right. I guess our what we can do here now, it would be good to get the Hawkeye folding camera down, but we have bigger fish to fry, being that Dole. Now, we can try to kill it with Shriveling, but it will take all 3 actions, and we will have to hit all 3 times. And he's a 6, and we would be a 6 as well. So the odds of us defeating this guy are not very good. He only has 2 evade, though, so we might be able to evade him. So I think we have to move in. I guess we could use Mr. Rook again, but I'm just worried that we draw the Mob Enforcer. We don't need a second enemy right now because this one is bad enough, and we don't have the resources to buy off the Mob Enforcer. So if we move in, what's our plan then? Like if we shrivel it, that's going to take 3 actions. We can get away from it once. Maybe take a resource. Play Shriveling, move in, and then before the enemy attacks us, we gatebox. And that would prevent the attack. And then we follow up next turn. The problem is if we do that, we don't have the actions to fight it. Unfortunately, we won't have the actions necessary to fight this thing. So what we would have to do is we'd have to come back and then evade it. And maybe take a pot shot at it, soften it up, and then try to kill it the following turn. The big issue is this thing has, I mean, it hits hard, which is bad enough, and then it hits, it's got 6 health, which is even worse. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll probably have to take a couple turns here to deal with this guy. So we will gain a resource as our first action. Second action, we're going to play Shriveling. So we have that out now. And then we're going to move in with the Dole. Oops, I don't engage the location. I engage the Dole. So we will flip this location. 2 Shroud location, 1 clue. Forced after you reveal a Skull, Cultist, Tablet, or Elder Thing, or an auto-fail token while investigating Cold Wastes, you must either take 1 damage or lose an action. Wow, that again hurts Luke. He only has 5 health, so we don't have a ton of health to work with here. So I think during the enemy phase, we exhaust. So we can do this in a couple different ways. We can use Mr. Rook, but what would we need? Storm of Spirits would be helpful, but it costs a lot of resources that we simply don't have. I don't think there's anything we really want at this time. So we're simply going to use the gate box. So we will exhaust the gate box, and then we will disengage from the Dole and move into the Dream Gate. And that will be our turn. Dream Gate is connected to each revealed location. Enemies and investigators other than Luke Robinson cannot enter. At the end of the investigation phase, set Dream Gate aside, out of play, and if he is here, he moves to any revealed location. So we're doing this during the enemy phase, so Luke bounces away. And that's going to be our turn. So we go to enemy phase. Nothing happens other than us escaping. And we draw into the flame during the upkeep phase. So that will get us 2 clues at some point if necessary. But we're still having to deal with the Dole, and we won't bounce back to the Cold Wastes until the very start of our turn. We can either wait till the end of our turn, which doesn't do us any good, or we bounce back early and then try to maybe take a couple pot shots at the Dole and maybe have to use another charge of Gatebox to get away from him. I just don't like our odds of... Skulls are minus X. X is current act. So that'd be -1. We'd be okay with that. It's the Cultist and Tablets that are really quite bad. We don't have Nyarlathotep on the table right now, so that's fine. But adding Doom to the agenda is not good. All right, we go to the Mythos phase, and our encounter card is going to be the Liar with No Face. He will not spawn because he is... he will not spawn in the Dream Gate, so he will simply whiff. So thank goodness for that. Otherwise, we'd have 2 enemies to deal with, and that would be very bad news. Okay, so that whiffs. We will get our 3 actions back. I think we have to bounce in again and just try to take some pot shots here at this Dole. First action, we move back to the Cold Wastes. We will use 1 charge of Shriveling. So we are going Oh man, 6v6 though. That's just awful. Because we don't have any of our other willpower boosters out yet. 6v6. Shoot. Yeah, that dole is a huge problem right now. The best we can do without dumping our hand on this guy, you know, maybe go 7v6 or 8v6. But we can't sustain that sort of commitment. I'm wondering if we just evade him and grab this clue. I don't think we can kill it. Evading it works slightly. I guess we're already 1 up, so we're 3v2. So let's try that. We will use our second action to try to evade this thing. Chaos Bag gives us another -3. And second action or third action, I guess we try to evade it again. We get a -1. So fortunately, we evade the dole, but that is not a way we're going to win this game. If we have to waste a couple actions every turn trying to evade this guy, we just don't have the combat right now to defeat it. We just don't have the willpower. We've got a shriveling, but not enough willpower to power it. All right, we go to the enemy phase. No attack. We go. Oh no, worst. Yep, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. We draw the Mob Enforcer. So it looks like if we had used Mr. Rook at all, we would have ended up with the Mob Enforcer sooner. Of course, 4 fight, 3 health, 3 evade. Hunter, spend 4 resources to parlay to discard the Mob Enforcer. Man. This is bad. And he hits for damage too, which is... how do we get out of this mess? We had a great first turn, and then things have turned sour on us here, unfortunately. Well, let's see what the Mythos Phase has to offer. 3 of 7 Doom. We end up with Restless Journey, Fallacy, Peril, and Hidden. Secretly add this card to your hand. You cannot commit more than 1 card to skill tests each round. That adds insult to injury. As a free triggered ability, discard Restless Journey and test 3 Intellect. If you fail, place 1 Doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. So now we cannot add more than one. Commit more than 1 card. And the odds of getting rid of that thing are not very good either. All right, well, we have ourselves in we have huge issues here. We have 2 enemies. And nary the willpower to kill them. 6 fight. Oh. Do we bother trying to get rid of the Restless Journey? We can We can commit Astounding Revelation and the Rite of Seeking, which would get us 2 up. And then, yeah, but see, even this Mob Enforcer, he's got 4 fight, and we're at 6. So if we need to take 2 actions to deal with him. We can gate box, but that doesn't get us anywhere because we don't have another revealed location other than the plateau. That's the problem with these small maps, is that you, when there are hunters about, you have no place to run. Well, I think we need to get rid of this Restless Journey, because unless we can commit cards to skill tests, we are doomed. So let's take that free triggered ability. We will commit the the Astounding Revelation and the Rite of Seeking to go 5v3. And cross our fingers. We get a +1, so that is good. We get rid of the Restless Journey without taking an action, so that's nice. All right, now we need to deal with these guys. So we can kill the Mob Enforcer, or try. And then evade the Dole. Take 2 shots at the Mob Enforcer, kill him, and then evade the Dole and... yeah. Problem is, I don't see a path forward while the Dole is in play. This is... Well, we don't have the resources to buy off the Mob Enforcer at the moment, so we're gonna spend a resource on shriveling. We will attempt to shrivel the Mob Enforcer, who has somehow found his way to the Plateau of Leng. He's the best Mob Enforcer the O'Banion gang has ever known. He's got the nose of a bloodhound, this guy. So we are going 6 versus 4. Chaos Bag says -2. So he takes 2 damage. We don't take any horror or anything. We will do it again. 6v4. There's that tablet. That's a -4. So that is a huge failure. Nyarlathotep is not in our hand. So we simply take a horror for that. This is dismal. I guess we have to do it again. 3rd shot at the Mob Enforcer. Oh, and a -4. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. So we miss. 2 out of the 3 shots miss. We really have no option but to gate box to evade these attacks. So the Dole and the Mob Enforcer will hang out in the Cold Wastes, and we will hide in the Wondrous Journey in our Dream Gate during the enemy phase to prevent us from taking 3 of our 5 health. This is not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. We can also use Mr. Rook. I think at this point we use him during the enemy phase. We need a Storm of Spirits. Storm would take out the Mob Enforcer and deal 2 damage to the Dole, but we don't have enough to kill the Dole. I guess we're going to look at top 9. There's only one weakness in our deck, but we do not draw it. We do get another Astounding Revelation. So there's 2 resources. We do find our second copy of Shriveling. And a Knowledge is Power. Man. I think we take the Shriveling. Because David doesn't really help us. See, David, the Holy Rosary, David, they'd all boost our willpower, but we don't have the shots. Yeah, we're really in a bad spot here. All right, well, we do that. We'll shuffle up our deck. Astounding Revelation's doing work for us this game, but unfortunately, we don't have the tools to deal with these enemies. Upkeep, we draw David Renfield, so all right. Well, we can get him down and a Shriveling next turn. David would add a Doom and speed up the game a little bit, but he'd also give us a Willpower. So we'd be at 7 v6 if we want to fight the Dole. Man, we're just wasting so much time just dealing with this mess that we... Let's go to the Mythos Phase. We will draw our encounter card, which is Somnophobia. Test 5 willpower for each point you fail by. Take 1 horror to a maximum of 3 horror. Every icon counts, and we can commit willpower and wild icons as 2. 5v4. How do I feel about that? Skulls are -1s, so we'd be 5v3. We'd take 2 horror. Or we can commit something. Maybe our Drawn to the Flame. So we get 4, 5, 6, 7 v5 out of the deal. Chaos Bag says, I can't win for losing today. That's a big auto fail. So we are, despite our best efforts, we are going to take 3 horror. Wow. Okay. I guess Mr. Rook takes 1 and we'll take 2. And we've got 1 more charge of Mr. Rook. Oh boy. This is just awful. And the thing is, there's really, like, drawing this Dole turn 1 is probably, I don't know what else is in the encounter deck, but I have to sort of assume that that's worst case. Like, one of the worst case scenarios. Because a Treachery, fine, you can deal with that. But, like, a massive enemy like this is just... It's really difficult to deal with when you are not set up yet. Okay, well, we'll go to investigation. This is probably going to be a very short game at this rate. We can put our other... oh, we can't put our other shriveling down. That's a problem. I think what we do... we can get one more use out of Mr. Rook, but if we draw detached from reality, we end up stuck in our... alternate reality for a turn, I think. So we use Rook. See what we get. We can move in, shoot the Enforcer. We can take a hit from the Dole. Alternatively, we play Renfield. I think we use Rook first. All right, let's see what we get. I think we'll go 6 just because if we go 9, that's half our deck, and we're bound to get our weakness. So let's just go top 6 and see if we get lucky here. No weakness. All right. We get Ward, Drawn to the Flame, Sixth Sense, Holy Rosary, Uncage the Soul, and Robes of Endless Night. The Robes gives us 2 more health. Uncage the Soul would let us play the Shriveling for free. Holy Rosary lets us boost our Willpower by 1. So if we got Renfield and the Rosary down, we'd be at 6. I think we take the Rosary. Yeah, at this point I'm just not sure what we do here. If we return now and kill the Mob Enforcer, that still doesn't set us up to deal with the Dole. We might have to just try to evade the Dole a couple times. Yeah, I think we go back. We bring out the Dole and the Mob Enforcer. We're going to try to kill the Mob Enforcer. I mean, we could buy him off, but I need those resources to play other cards. So we'll try to kill him. We're going to go 6v4. Seven v4, 8v4. We get we get an Elder Sign. So that at least gets us a gate box charge back. So we get a charge on the gate box. That's helpful. The mob enforcer is dead. The Dole will attack us during the enemy phase. I think we're going to sacrifice... okay, well, we'll deal with that in a second. We'll sacrifice Rook to take the hit. No, I think we would gate box out because we still need to play our next Shriveling in order to do that. So we'll gate box out, and then we draw our weakness, our other weakness. So detach from reality. If Dreamgate is in play already, flip it over. So we end up in Luke Robinson's version of Hell, the pointless reality. After you successfully investigate Dreamgate, flip it. Forced at the end of the investigation phase, we set it aside, and we take 2 horror. So that's bad news, because we're already at 5 of 9 horror. Taking 2 more would be bad. We do have our Sixth Sense, but we're going 6v6. That's just not good enough. We can play Holy Rosary and David Renfield. Problem is, we're going to show up with the Dole again. This is just, this is terrible. This is a terrible game. The Dole has just put us in this awful position that we can't, that trying to get ourselves out of is proving to be very difficult. We've got a lot of resources. Unfortunately, we just don't have the actions to do everything we need to do. We go to the Mythos Phase, 5 of 7 Doom, and our encounter card is the Law of Igiroth Pandemonium. Secretly add this card to your hand. You cannot play or commit cards to skill tests with an odd number of words in their title. You cannot play or commit cards with odd number of words. So Shriveling is an odd. David Renfield and Holy Rosary are okay. We have to discard a card with an even number of words. Great. And that's going to take us an action. So we need to investigate here. Whoops, wrong token. All right, so we're going to investigate. Well, first, what we can do is, I think we play the Holy Rosary first. We need to get some willpower down here to give us a boost. We can play that card. We need to discard a... We'll need to save David Renfield to get rid of the Law so we can play the Shriveling. We investigate with Sixth Sense to go 7v6. Or we play David Renfield to investigate going 8v6. We'll get dumped back into At the end of our turn, we'll get dumped back in, and then David takes the hit for the dole. I think that's what we do. Or Mr. Rook takes the hit. Either way, probably David, because that will advance us. So yeah, let's do that. Second action, we're going to play David. We do have charisma, so we're okay there. We're going to use David to gain a resource. Now we're going to investigate. So we're going 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 V6. Chaos Bag says cultist. We reveal another token. If you fail, place 1 doom on the current agent. Well, this could end up just being a disaster. Can we reveal another token? So we'll have to go look. Let's look at the top token. It is a skull, so that's a -1. So we do pass. We don't add a doom. So we do successfully investigate. Now, does Sixth Sense help us here? You may choose a revealed location up to 2 connections away from your location. Nope, we can't, because the pointless reality isn't connected to anything. But we do get to flip it over, which is nice. So we won't take the 2 horror, but we end up... that is the end of our turn, and then we end up getting bounced back at the end of our turn. The Dole engages us. The Dole kills Renfield. And that's that. Because otherwise we advance. Would that be a terrible thing at this point? We're doing so badly that I don't know if advancing just piles on the pain. All right, well, we will. So enemy phase, the Dole kills Renfield for us. We draw knowledge as power. That gives us a shriveling charge, which is fine, I guess. But we need 3 shriveling charges. We need to play the shriveling in our hand, which we can't do due to the law of Egiroth. And that's that turn. What turn is it? Oh, it's turn 7. And we've done, I think we've gathered 1 clue, basically. That's all we've done this game. Encounter card is going to be Abandoned by the Gods. Peril. Test 3 willpower for each point you fail by. You must choose a different number between 0 and 4. Each player must discard each event and asset from their hand with a printed resource cost equal to any of the chosen numbers. Okay, well, we are 5v3. Okay. We get a -2, so this just does nothing. We pass. Well, that's a nice thing to happen. Back to our friend, the Duel. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So I think we evade the Dole. We try to evade the Dole so we can we can't play our shriveling. We can't play knowledge as power either. So I think we're right back to where we were after all of this time. We've really achieved nothing but but attempting to evade the dole. And at bad odds to boot. 3v2. Chaos Bag says tablet. That's a -4. We don't have any Nyarlathoteps. I don't even know if we'll see Nyarlathotep in this game, considering how things are going. We will try to evade him again. We get the Cultist. That's kind of... The Cultist won't matter, since we're already going to advance. We get a +1, though. So, the Dole is evaded. And I think we just try to grab this clue. Man, oh man. Yeah, we just grab this clue, I think, and see what happens when we advance. Let's go with our Sixth Sense. We're at 5, 6, 7 v2. Chaos Bag says Skull. That's a -1, but we have to do something. After you reveal one of the special symbols, you must either take a damage or lose an action. We can't lose an action, so we take a damage. We can put that on Renfield, not on Renfield, on Rook. But we do get this clue. And I think we will go to the enemy phase. And we will advance during the enemy phase just in case something terrible shows up. All right, well, it only took us 7 turns, but we managed to find the monastery. Act 1B. Traversing the wastes of Leng is no easy task. You're telling me. The cold bites at your skin and the bitter wind lash against your face. Even if you encounter no nameless monsters, we did, the land itself may still claim your life. You try desperately to stay warm, but there is no refuge in the icy desolation. Exhausted, you collapse into a nearby snowdrift. To your surprise, you feel hard stone thrust into your ribcage. The pain shocks you out of your enervation, and you brush aside the snow to examine what it hides. Eventually, you uncover a curious stone idol in the shape of a horned creature, which glows and vibrates with a faint energy. In the distance, you hear a stone slab shifting in the snow. We reveal the monastery of Leng, spawn the set-aside high priest, not to be described enemy in the monastery of Leng. Monastery of Leng, 3 Shroud location, 2 clues. As a free triggered ability, investigators at Monastery of Leng spend 1 clues as a group. 1 clue per investigator as a group. Remember that the investigators maneuvered the priest closer. Okay. Is the priest a hunter? Probably not. Here he is. He's alert, massive, and retaliate. That's a mouthful. We spawn him there. And that is that. High Priest, not to be described, agent of the other gods, 5 fight, 3 health per investigator. So 3 health, 3 evade. Monster, cultist, avatar, and elite, alert, massive, and retaliate. This enemy cannot make attacks of opportunity. If this enemy is exhausted, spend 1 clue per investigator. Remember that you have stunned the priest. Until the end of the scenario, this enemy gets -3 fight. Worth 2 victory points and has a deals a damage and a horror. Okay. Well. Act 2A, The Thing in the Robes. Inside the dome structure is a raised dais. Upon it sits a lumpish figure robed in yellow silk, a mask covering its face. My master has plans for you, it drawls. Now step forward and receive my gift. You shake your head. You have seen this sort of disguise before. You know what sort of creature this priest truly is. Action. If an investigator maneuvered the priest closer and an investigator stunned the priest, defeat the high priest not to be described. If the high priest not to be described is defeated, advance. So we need 2 clues. And we need to exhaust the priest. Oh boy. Okay, well, it is a tall order at this point. We get Ward of Protection, level 0, which we can't play because of the law. Great. The Dole engages us. And that's it for the upkeep phase. We are advancing. Do not try to run now, you are mine. You'll never, ever, ever wake up. If it is Act 4, it is not. Act 4. Give me a break. We haven't even gotten past, we just got past Act 1. So we don't read any of this. The Mire of Dreams. Okay, so Agenda 2A, The Shape of Chaos. Why do you fight? Why do you flee? I am your future. I am your fate. Another mask for my collection. Another corpse for me to wear. 5 Doom Threshold. Encounter card is an Acolyte. The Acolyte either has to go to the Onyx Gates or the Onyx Castle, but we can't get into the castle. I guess we'll put him here. We'll put him at the Onyx Gates just because maybe we'll get there before he advances the Doom. All right. So our trick right now is what can we do? Evade, move, clue. Stun. We need to kill this priest, so I guess that is what we're going to try to do. We'll try to evade the Dole. 3v2. Let's get our 3 actions back. -1, so the Dole is evaded. We will move in with the priest. Priest does not engage us because he is massive. We can grab a clue. We're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7 v3. We get a 0, so we grab 1 clue. We can now... So we either have to evade the priest or spend the clue after he attacks us. I believe that is what we need to do. I just want to make sure there is a window. I believe there is a window after we exhaust him. After he exhausts to attack us, in which case I will definitely stun him. Where are we here? Products. Just check the rules on this one, just to make sure we're doing this right. Rules reference, and we'll go all the way to the end. Skill tests. Enemy phase. There is a player window after the enemy attacks. All right. So after he attacks us, we can stun him, I believe. I just want to make sure that massive enemies don't have some sort of trick that prevents that. Where would I find that? Enemy phase? Probably. Enemy phase, page 25. Well, that's where we go here. Page 25. Enemy phase. Each ready, engaged enemy makes an attack. The enemy attacks deal its attack to the engaged. Upon dealing the attack, exhaust the enemy. Okay, I just want to make sure massive enemies do the same thing, and then we'll be ready to go. Massive. Yes, it still exhausts, but it exhausts after all attacks are done. So we move in, we take a damage and a horror, which Mr. Rook is going to take for us. And then we will spend the 1 clue per investigator since he is exhausted now. Whoops. Since the High Priest is exhausted when he attacks us, to stun him. So he is stunned. All right, good stuff. So now we just need to discover 1 more clue and then maneuver him closer, and then we can advance through the thing in the robes. All right, but we're going to have to deal with the dole as well. We draw the Robes of Endless Night, which we can actually discard to get rid of the Law of Igiroth, which is would be nice. All right, let's got to go to Mythos Phase first. 2 of 5 doom because we've got an acolyte. We draw the Liar with no face. Great. Just what we needed, an enemy. 3 fight, 4 health, 3 evade. Most cards in hand, Hunter. When Liar of no face attacks you, if Whispering Chaos is in your hand, reveal it. Liar with no face deals +2 damage for this attack. So, I'm wondering if we just don't take an attack of opportunity. If we take the attack of opportunity, we can get this clue in advance. We don't really have another way of dealing with this guy. We haven't been able to play our shriveling due to the law. Alternatively, we can't go into our hidey hole and play shriveling because we'd have to take an action to discard the Robes of Endless Night. So what does that look like? We go to the Dream Gate, discard the robes, that's an action. Play shriveling, that's an action. But we come back and we just get beat up badly by a lot of enemies. I think we take the attack of opportunity now, because then we can go to our hidey hole next turn. So we take an attack of opportunity from the liar with no face. We investigate 4, 5, 6, 7 V3. Chaos Bag says +1, so we grab this clue. We can use 1 clue per investigator as a group. We can remember that we maneuvered the priest closer. We have maneuvered the priest and stunned him, so we defeat the priest. So we get to add him to the victory display, and if he is defeated, we get to advance. Hooray. All right. A foul fate. If you defeated the high priest not to be described with damage, read the following. If you defeated the high priest not to be described using the ability on Act 2A, read the following. Despite your fear, or perhaps as a result, you discover a means to escape the creature's grasp. With the creature distracted, you shove all of your might, and it topples into the gaping well in the center of the room, letting out a hideous screech in its wake. With the monster dispatched, you can explore its monastery in relative peace. Along the ruined walls of the stone building, tapestries depict the history of this land, a history of blood and suffering that you have no desire to remember when this is all said and done. Great snow-capped peaks loom over each of these scenes. In just one of them, a castle is woven in black thread. Beyond Dreams, Act 3A. You believe that Kadath is the highest peak far to the north, but in order to open the gates leading to that forsaken land, you must prove that it exists. If each investigator is at the Onyx gates and no clues are on it, advance. Okay. I was kind of hoping that we would get to leave. Because now we're kind of stuck. We can try to evade this guy, the liar with no face, but that's not really going to help us. So basically, we have to waste 2 actions. Because we can't take the attacks of opportunity. So I guess that's what we do. We can't move. We can try to evade him, but then even if we move, we engage the Dole. And then I'd rather have the Dole here at the monastery. So I guess we'll just burn the 2 actions. The Dole comes over and engages us. We trigger the gate box to get out of there, leaving these 2 guys behind. And next turn we can spawn at the Cold Wastes and go to the Onyx gates, so we're 1 ahead of the hunters. All right. We draw our second copy of Mr. Rook, who we can also get rid of if necessary. Sort of rather get rid of the robes. Mr. Rook, now that all the weaknesses are out of our deck, we can just grab cards. All right, we go to the Mythos Phase. Now we want an enemy because it'll whiff. We do get an enemy. Oh, but he doesn't spawn on us. Shoot. He does not spawn where we are, so he will spawn here at the Cold Wastes. Why is it always these acolytes show up in the final scenario of the game? All right, well, now there are 4 of 5 Doom in play. We need to get to the Onyx Gates, which we can do, but it's going to take us 2 actions. And we can't... And we have to do that because we... Oh, shoot. Oh, no, we can't spawn him there. I made a mistake. He has to spawn up here because we need to be able to spawn here and move without grabbing this guy. So that's what we're going to do. We will gain our 3 actions. So we're in the investigation phase. We will use our first action to come back. We will use our second action to move, engaging the acolyte. We flip. Oh, you've got to be freaking kidding me. What? 12 clues? Oh, jeez. If each investigator is at Onyx Gates and there are no clues on it, advance. You have got to be joking. Oh, okay. So evidence of Kadath, this is where this comes in. Okay, so Onyx Gates gets +1 Shroud, so per investigator. So that's 2. That's fine. Forced after Onyx Gates is revealed, check the campaign log. Remove 1 clue from Onyx Gates for each tally mark recorded next to evidence of Kadath. So we remove 9 clues. So there are only 3. We have 1 action remaining. Shoot, that Law of Yaghiroth is just such a... I think I need to retcon this a little bit. I think what I would do is discard the robes as my second action and move as my third, so I can get rid of the laws. So we'll take a damage. During the enemy phase. So we returned, discarded a card to get rid of the laws, and then moved here. Then during the enemy phase, we take an attack, and then these chumps move. Yeah, we just don't have the 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to advance this turn, and we have no gate box charges left. And yeah, Storm of Spirits isn't bad, but it's not going to help us with the problem we have. We've just got too many enemies on the table. We can play Knowledge as Power to knock out this guy, the Acolyte. Then grab 3 clues. See, we don't die next turn. Well, we still have a Mythos Phase to go through here. We advance, thanks to our friends, the Acolytes. Yes, read on, my puppet. This will be your last dream, your final reprieve. Then I shall take the rest for myself. If it is Act 4, read the following. It is not Act 4. We have not gotten to Act 4 yet. Chaos Incarnate. Wow, that's a lot of text. Agenda 3A. Shanta, nya. I am true chaos. Look not upon my shape, for it is ever changing. I commanded you to keep reading. Look not upon my face, for it is no face at all. I told you to stop running. Listen not for the truth is a lie. I warned you not to dream. Mine and mine alone, nobody else can have it. I dared you not to fight, then run, rabbit, run. There is nothing more. I cherish the chase, nothing, nothing. Is that the end of the agenda deck? It is. Yeah, I think we're a little too slow on this one. That Dole just crushed us at the beginning. We draw an encounter card. Law of Igiroth Discord. We just got rid of the one, and now we get another one. This one is you cannot commit cards to skill tests with an odd number of skill icons. Discard a player card with an even number of total skill icons. Okay, well that's... we can't play our Ward of Protection because we're going to get attacked next turn. We're out of gate boxes. We can Storm. The problem is we need 2 clues. We need to draw 3. We needed 1 more evidence of Kadath. We needed 1 more evidence of Kadath. No. We can do this. Maybe. We can get 3 clues, but... Okay, I'm going to play Knowledge as Power. We get our 3 actions. I'm going to play Knowledge as Power. Free triggered ability, or it's fast, so we can use our Shriveling on this dude. So we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7 V3. We get a Skull. That's going to cost us a Sanity. That might actually kill us. It's -3. That's fine. So, yeah, that actually kills us next turn because we don't have enough Sanity. Unless we can somehow miraculously get out of this. Or we play Mr. Rook. That's the other option. So this guy dies. That much we know. If we want to keep playing, we need to play Mr. Rook. So he can absorb some damage and horror for us. Then we have 2 actions remaining. We have no way of getting... unless we get a Drawn to the Flame. Let's use Mr. Rook. We will look at the top 9 because we have no weaknesses left. If we can get a Drawn to the Flame, we might be able to win. Or not win, but at least get out of this mess. There is a Drawn to the Flame. So we will take that. Second action, we will play Drawn to the Flame. We draw the top card of the encounter deck. It is Dreamer's Curse, test 5 willpower. For each point you fail by, take a damage. I cannot commit cards with odd skill icons. I can go even though if I want. What are we, 5v5? Storm of Spirits isn't going to be able to kill those things. So we go 5, 6, 7, 8. We get a -2, so we succeed. So we're fine. So we get 2 clues. And then we can investigate with 6 Sense to go 5, 6, 7 v2. Chaos Bag says -1. So we grab the final clue and we get to advance. If there are no clues on it, advance. So we do make it to... Oh, shit. Each investigator loses all of their clues. Read the scenario interlude in the campaign guide, then advance to Act 4A, Truth and Lies. So we lose all our clues. We go to read the interlude. Where's the interlude? Up here. Grand Design 1. Higher and higher you scale the mountains far to the north. Pale light shines from atop a great black peak, piercing the vibrant firmament, and you know that you approach the end of your quest. You spend untold hours ascending the snow-covered slopes until finally you reach the forbidden steps leading to the castle's great hall. The castle stands astride a precipice that overlooks the entire continent and the ocean beyond. It is a majestic sight. Above, countless tenebrous towers loom, swathed in a vortex of snow and hail. You break a trail through the crusted snow before the castle, and it soon gives way to smooth, polished onyx. The biting wind quiets to a whistle. You are bathed in a prodigious darkness that fills the vast space. Soon there is nothing but the echoing of your footsteps on the onyx floor and the quiet, lonely stillness of the great hall. Though you have crossed no doorway, you realize now where you stand, inside the halls of the Great Ones. You expected to be met by guards, servants of the gods, or perhaps even those powerful beings themselves. But you are met only by loneliness and foreboding, as chilling as the piercing winds outside. You continue forward until at last you reach the end of the hall. Here, flanked by smooth onyx pillars, you find nothing. There are no gods here. You find... This place is long abandoned. Virgil is agape. I don't understand. Reveal the Onyx Castle and place each investigator in the Great Hall on its revealed side. Remove each other location from the game. So we just saved our bacon here. So we zoom here. These guys go away. Thank goodness. Oh, man. Where did I lose my thing now? There. If Randolph survived the voyage, go to Grand Design 2. You turn to Randolph for answers. He has been your guide through all of this madness. Surely he knows what is going on. Finally, he says, gazing upon the hall with wide eyes, we have reached the hall of the great ones, upon whom it is unlawful for mortals to look. We knew it was forbidden, yet here we are, our quest complete. He turns to Virgil. Was it worth it, sir? Have you found the evidence you seek? Virgil takes a step back. What are you on about, Randolph? Was this not your idea? You're the one who led us on this quest to begin with. Randolph smiles and places a hand on Virgil's shoulder. Yes, I am, but I am not Randolph Carter. He pulls back his other arm and before you can react, drives a razor-sharp blade of onyx through Virgil Gray's chest. Virgil's corpse slides to the polished floor, eyes forever frozen in tragic shock. The beginning that was never Randolph Carter turns toward you, its shadow shifting into myriad shapes as it stretches across the ground. Behold, its many voices growl, your just reward. If an investigator's deck contains Randolph Carter, remove it. Well, we didn't. If the black cat is at our side, we go to Grand Design 4. Otherwise, we skip to 5. We go to 5. The crawling chaos splits into 100,000 shadows and vanishes into the cold, dank air. Randomly choose 1+1 copies of the set-aside Nyarlathotep enemy without looking at them and shuffle them into the encounter deck. Remove each other copy. So we will do that. There were... Look at all the cards. We need a... dump them in here. So all these guys... Ah, shoot. Damn it. I was hoping that would... We need this deck here, so we can flip these and then shuffle them. All right. So we add 2 of these chumps to the deck. Okay. Where are we here? Shuffle the set-aside Crawling Mist and each set-aside copy of Myriad of Forms and Whispering Chaos into the encounter deck. We put these into the encounter deck. And these and these. Then we probably, I think it's random, is it not? Shuffle the set-aside Forsaken Tower locations and choose 4 at random. These locations should surround the Great Hall with 1 on each cardinal direction. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these get set aside. Dump these back in here. Move that there, north, west, east, and south. And we are here. And I believe that is all the setup we do. Yep. And that's that. All right. Then advance to Truth and Lies. Truth and Lies, beware, for I am the one who has trapped you here, and you shall never leave. Your dreams are forever mine. As an action, spend 1 clue to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Draw each of those cards with the hidden keyword and discard the rest. Find and expose Nyarlathotep's true form by adding copies of Nyarlathotep to the victory display. If 1+1 copies are in the victory display, advance. So we need to kill him twice. We need to kill Nyarlathotep twice. So we can either draw cards or find clues. All right. Well, that happened at the end of our turn, didn't it? Yeah, it's the enemy phase. All right. Let's go on to the enemy phase. There are no enemies about. We draw an Uncage the Soul, which we can still play, which is okay. Man, it's going to be tough to kill Nyarlathotep with one copy of Shriveling. And that's where we stand. Let's go into the Mythos phase. Let's give the Mythos deck one more shuffle. And we'll draw an encounter card. Get an Acolyte. Guess it doesn't matter where we put him. Let's put him here. Alright, so we will go into the investigation phase. Things are not looking good. So we need to kill 2 copies of Nyarlathotep, and then before we run out of Doom, we have 2 of 5 Doom. And we have, I think, a Shriveling and maybe a Storm of Spirits to do it with. That is going to be tricky. Alright, so we need to kill this Acolyte first off. So I think what we do, let's get our actions first of all, and I think we will play, we got rid of that one, the other Law of Igira, so this one is fine. So we'll play our Shriveling for 3. Yeah, I'm gonna play it because I can keep the Uncage the Soul in case I need to do some fancy stuff. Oh, I can't discard it, can I? All right. Well, we'll use the Uncage the Soul then, and we'll play it for free. So we replace the other Shriveling. Then we will move over here and engage this guy. So this is the East Tower. 4 Shroud location, 1 clue. You cannot use this location's action ability unless another card explicitly allows you to do so. Choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep from your hand and test X Willpower, where X is Nyarlathotep's printed health. If you succeed, add that copy of Nyarlathotep to the victory display. If you fail, Nyarlathotep attacks you and is shuffled into the encounter deck. Oh. Unless another card explicitly allows you to do so. So what other card would allow me to trigger this ability, I wonder? Alright, well, that's our second action. Third action, we're going to shrivel this guy. Try to get rid of him. So that is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 V3. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so that guy is dead. And that will be our turn. Alright. So we will go to nothing in the enemy phase. Upkeep, we draw our 4 of Cups. That could be useful. I rarely end up playing the tarot cards if I draw them in my hand, but this time I might reconsider. Because we could use the Willpower. We will go to the Mythos phase. It is turn 13. Our encounter card is going to be Law of Egiroth, Chaos. You cannot play cards or trigger abilities on player cards with an odd printed resource cost. Discard a card with an even printed resource cost from your hand. Oh, geez. So this... So I cannot play cards or trigger abilities on player cards with odd printed resource costs. So we can't Shrivel anymore. We can't Sixth Sense anymore. And we have no even printed resource cost cards. So this just, I think we got to cancel this because we have no way of dealing with it otherwise. So let's cancel that. We'll use our Ward of Protection on that one because that would be devastating at this point. We take a Horror, which Mr. Rook will take for us. All right, now we're okay. We can use our abilities. So what do we do here? So we can spend a clue to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, draw each of those cards with a hidden keyword, and discard the rest. Okay. So let's use Sixth Sense here. First, let's play the 4 of Cups. So that will boost our willpower 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8v4 with Sixth Sense. So that was one action. We draw a -2. So that will be, we do get this clue. And now, so we'll spend a clue to look at the top 3 cards is our third action, I guess. I mean, we need to find Nyarlathotep, right? So we will do this. I don't know whether this is the right move or not. We end up with Whispering Chaos West and East. Oh dear. So we have to draw these in our hand. So this is discarded, and those 2 go to my hand. So I don't know what this means, but we shall see. Whispering Chaos East, Peril hidden secretly add to your hand. While this card is in your hand, you may activate the ability on the Eastern Tower if you reveal this card from your hand. Oh, okay. So we need these cards. So these are the cards that let us do this. So we got the 1 in the East and the 1 in the West. All right. So that's our trick to defeating Nyarlathotep. If we can defeat him in the East and the West, we're good to go. All right, well, we draw a counter spell. So we can cancel a Chaos token. Unfortunately, I think we're going to run out of time because we're going to go up to 3 Doom of 5 here, and that is going to be very difficult to deal with. Encounter card is Restless Journey Hardship. Secretly add this to your hand. You cannot commit more than 1 card to skill tests each round. Test 3 combat. If you fail, place 1 Doom on the current agenda. We need clues. I guess we go to the West. Yeah, man, it's too bad. Whoops. We're going to move twice. We go to the Forsaken Tower West. We cannot use the ability. We would have to evade Nyarlathotep here. Man, this is rough. We'll try to grab the clue there with 6 cents. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 V3. Chaos bag gives us a -1, so we get that clue. We don't have any actions left. And yeah, so we're kind of screwed here, I think. We're just gonna run out of time. That's all that's gonna happen here. We get an upkeep, we get a Storm of Spirits, we go to 4 of 5 Doom, we get Whispers of Hypnos. We can choose a skill. I say Combat, and that's that. Let's get our 3 actions. We will spend a clue to look at the top 3 cards. I don't think we can honestly evade. And that copy, like, we just don't have any evasion ability. That's the problem. I think actually what we're going to do, we're going to move over to here. Because this is basically the last action of the game. At least if we're here, we have a chance if we draw a Nyarlathotep. Oh, we can't even do it. Shoot. Yeah, I guess we do it here. So we get our action back. We reveal top 3. And not 43, top 3. No Nyarlathotep, but we do get the Restless Journey Lies. That is, you cannot commit more than 1 card to skill tests each round. I think that's basically the same as this other one, isn't it? Yeah, so that just goes into our hand, and now we're basically we can just move. We'll just go to the South Tower, and I think that's going to be the end of the game. And that's that. And then we draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8. We draw our second copy of Counterspell. And then we're going to advance and lose, I think. Unless there's some trick here that each investigator is defeated and driven insane. A dream devoured, enough playing with you, I will have what is owed to me. You think you can simply venture into this land of dreams with no consequence, with impunity, with no spilt blood? Who are you to partake of such fantasy, to intrude on the dreams of others like a parasite, to devour these dreams like they were yours to enjoy? Out with you, I shall rend your mind from your skull as one skins a cat. Look, see, I am cracking open your skull and pouring out your you. And now I'm filling it with me. You are no longer. Did you really think there would be any other result? Out with you now. Be gone. Each investigator is defeated or driven insane. Well. So that is going to do it for Where the Gods Dwell. We managed to get into the Great Hall, but we spent so much time dealing with the dole at the beginning of the game that we just ran out of time. We needed to find... curious to see which 2 copies of Nyarlathotep we had. But I will take a look at that. If you are a patron, make sure you tune in for the Patreon post-game show, where I'm going to talk a little bit about my impressions, how this game went, and the scenario in general. I'll be following up with the final scenario in the Waking side, Weaver of the Cosmos, here shortly. We have Patrice Hathaway taking on that scenario. All in all, I kind of enjoyed this one, even though we had a rough start. I think if we'd gotten a better off start, we might have been able to win this one. But it's tough to say with just one play. So I hope you'll stay tuned for Patrice Hathaway in Weaver of the Cosmos. And we have lots more great Arkham Horror LCG content coming up. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining me. That's going to do it for this episode of The Whisper in Darkness. If you enjoy what you hear, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you need to contact me, I can be reached at manfromleng@gmail.com. I am also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your other sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating.